So the second Grand Slam of the year is finally upon us, and who better to look ahead to the tournament than someone who has won that very title. Mary Pierce remains to this day the last French man or woman to lift the title at Roland Garros. In fact, she won 4 Grand Slam titles, singles and doubles in her career, and was ranked as high as world number 3. I'm delighted to be joined by her on the show. Mary, a very warm welcome to you on WION. They call the French Open the hardest slam to win, but you won both the singles and doubles there in 2000 and played 2 other singles finals. Safe to call this your favorite tournament?
Yes, definitely. I'm delighted to be with you today as well and speak with you about the French Open, my favorite tournament. As a kid growing up and playing tennis, watching it on TV, it was always my dream to hopefully play it one day and to hopefully win it. And definitely the most special tournament for me. I love playing on clay. It's my favorite surface, and just had the most amazing moments of my career as a French player, playing there with the crowd and winning that tournament. So definitely my favorite memory of my career.
Now, clay is a surface that tends to expose players' weaknesses that might have been masked on other surfaces. Talk to us, Mary, about how different the preparations are for Roland Garros compared to, say, grass and hardcourt events.
Definitely a great question. I grew up practicing mostly only on clay. My father had me practice on hard courts or grass or indoors only just before if I had a tournament on that surface. So all year I was playing on clay. And it really, you know, if you start from the ground up, it works your legs a lot harder because you need to slide. The rallies last a lot longer, so you've got to be fit as well, cardiovascular-wise, hitting a lot of balls, being patient, learning how to build your point, waiting for the right shot to finish it off, and it's much harder to hit a winner. So you've really got to work that much harder on clay to win a point than, say, a grass court that's a very fast surface or a hard court.
Help us set up this year's tournament, Mary. Rafael Nadal once again comes into the championships on the back of a staggering clay court season. He's been the favorite here for over a decade, and his 10 titles show he pretty much delivers every single time. Is it hard to look beyond him for the men's title yet again?
Well, definitely. You know, I think even though that Zverev beat him in the finals of Rome, even himself, Zverev said, you know, Nadal is the favorite. You know, once you get to a Grand Slam tournament, the top players like Nadal, they seem to really just raise their game a whole nother level. Mentally, you just really dial in and you just get so much more focused because these are the tournaments that you train so hard for. You want to win these Grand Slam titles. It means more than the #1 ranking once he's already achieved that. It's how many Grand Slams can I now win? And definitely, you know, I would see Rafael Nadal as the favorite again this year at the French Open.
Let's talk about the possible contenders to Rafa's throne. Young Alexander Zverev really pushed him in the Rome final last week. He's had a very impressive clay court season too, but has surprisingly never gone past the 4th round at slams. Dominic Thiem, on the other hand, is the only player to have beaten Nadal on clay in the last 2 years. He's reached the semi-finals here on 2 occasions. Would you say these two are the biggest threats to Nadal's throne?
They can be threats, definitely. I think once you get into a Grand Slam tournament, like I said earlier, something changes in the air. You can feel it when you get there. And as Nadal has so much more experience than those younger guys, that plays a huge difference, especially when you get to the later rounds of a Grand Slam tournament. And that's definitely going to be in the favor of Rafael Nadal because he's been in those situations so many more times than those younger guys. And, you know, you get nervous, you get tight, how to deal with those situations. And, you know, I wouldn't count out Novak Djokovic as well because he's starting to play good again. And it looks like he's kind of got his mojo back that he had lost for those few years and a couple of years. So now it looks like he's playing better again. So, you know, I'd also just kind of keep my eye on Novak as well.
I'm glad you brought up Novak Djokovic, Mary, because he's beginning to look like he's finding his bearings once again. Stan Wawrinka, along with him, is the only other player in the men's draw to have won this tournament. But do you get the sense that the French Open has come a little too soon for the two of them in terms of finding their form and consistency to take into such a big tournament?
Too soon is a good thing to say because, like you said, and as I said as well, I think Novak is just starting to find his best tennis again. I don't think he's there yet. Is this Grand Slam too soon? I don't know. Is Rafa just too good on clay? Probably. Stan, I think it's a bit too soon as well, just coming back from his injury. But you know, like I said, it's going to be interesting. Those guys can make it difficult for Rafa. But I just have a hard time seeing who could beat him at Roland Garros.
Let's talk about the women now, Mary. We've been saying this for nearly 2 years, and once again, it appears extremely hard to predict a women's winner. It's all very open. There have been 6 different champions in the last 6 Grand Slams. Do you see that trend continuing here as well?
I do. I do. What a surprise for Ostapenko to win that last year. I don't think anybody was expecting that, even herself. I don't think if you would have told her that before the French Open, I think she would have laughed. So who's going to win it this year? I don't know. Serena's back, but she's not in her greatest form yet. Clay is not her best surface. She's never felt as comfortable on that surface. So, you know, it's really just up in the air. I think it's a bit of a handful of a few girls that it could be their tournament. We might see a new French Open champion this year as well, someone who hasn't won it before. So I think that makes it very exciting. We don't know who's going to win it.
You say it's hard to predict a winner, so let me ask you if you think there is a favourite. Halep reached the final here last year. Pliskova has won 2 titles on clay this season, as has Petra Kvitova. Muguruza is a former champion. Alina Svitolina just won in Rome. Can you pick a favourite among them?
All of them. All those names that you've mentioned, any one of them could win the tournament. Of course, there's going to be a lot of attention on Caroline Garcia as the top-ranked French player who has a great game. But once again, will she be able to handle the stress and handle the pressure and handle the emotions, excuse me, of playing the French Open as a French player? I don't know. If I had to pick one, that's so tough to say because Svitolina's been looking really good, just coming off of a win, playing well. She did good also at the French Open last year, but Pliskova's just already a Grand Slam champion, has the experience. I honestly really couldn't pick one player right now to say I think this is who's going to win the women's title at the French Open.
Okay, one final question, Mary. You're very well known in India thanks to the mixed doubles title you won with Mahesh Bhupati at Wimbledon in 2005. Now you're back here as an ambassador for the TCS 10K run in Bengaluru. Talk to us about why you chose to help promote this event and what message do you have for the thousands who will be running this race on Sunday?
Yeah, well, first of all, obviously, good luck to all of the runners who are going to be running this race. I think it's wonderful that you're going to participate in this event. You know, I love sports. Obviously, I played tennis professionally, but running was a big part of my life, a big part of my training. I did it every day, if it was 5 or 10 minutes in my warm-up, or if it was an hour and a half run at the end of the day. I did running in so many various forms, and I love running. So it's a sport that I enjoy, and I just think it's so great to be involved in running. It's just, you know, you put your shoes on, you go outside and you run. It's such an easy thing to do. It's so good for your health. It's great to be moving and to be sweating. So it's just, for me, very excited to be here. Surprised that I was asked to be the ambassador for this event because it's running, it's not tennis. It's the first time for me to do something like this. But reading about the event and everything that it does, and it raises so much money for charities and has great causes as well. And just the message for everyone to be out, to be moving, having a healthy lifestyle, just so many things that I also think are important in life. And so it just seemed like a great match, and very happy to be here and to be able to promote this event, and hopefully as many people can come out and run and participate in that race.
All right, on that note, Mary Pierce, thank you so much for joining us on this show. It has been an absolute pleasure having you with us here on WION.
Thank you. I enjoyed it as well.